AI companies exploiting rural America might actually unify the country, but you're not hearing about this story in the media. Listen up here. You should care about this story because it's not a fight about DEI or wokeness or pronouns or whatever. It's about corporate greed squeezing the average Joe and Jane dry. I've seen the anger here myself in Indiana, and it's Hoosiers from all across the political spectrum uniting as the 99% against the 1%. I cover stories about corporate scams and rising populism in America. Come follow the movement. Under the hood, AI models like ChatGPT are just a bunch of server stacks sitting in a data center. And as companies like Google, Meta, and OpenAI are in an arms race to develop the AI model that will eventually automate away all of our jobs, new data centers are popping up all over the country. Every time you ask an AI a question, these stacks churn out your answer, burning oodles of electricity and gallons of water in the process. So when companies want to open a new data center, they're looking for cheap land, cheap labor, cheap electricity, and cheap water. Indiana fits that bill perfectly. These tech companies go to small Indiana towns and tell the local government, oh, you know that farmland on the outskirts of town? Well, we bought it all up and we want to build a multi-million-dollar data center. Do you think you could rezone all the land for us? And oh, do you think you could hook us up to the town water and electricity supply? And oh, do you think we could not pay any taxes on it for 10 years? And if you say no to any of this, we'll just go to the next town over where they'll give us everything that we want. So rural Hoosiers are pissed off and confused, asking what the heck is in it for us? They know that these data centers mean increased electricity costs, water costs, and noise pollution. But after construction's done, if only 50 permanent jobs are created and these Fortune 500 companies won't pay a lick of taxes to the communities that they're siphoning off of, what's even the point? Now, remember that Indiana is a part of the Rust Belt, and so Hoosiers remember what it felt like to be left behind the last time the country underwent a huge economic transition like this. So people feel conflicted. On one hand, they can't just turn down the opportunity to house the industry of the future, but at the same time, they can't just roll over for the richest companies on the planet, especially not to help the first trillionaires in history make human beings irrelevant. We will never root out the corruption infecting our politics if we're constantly bickering over the culture war. There are important conversations to have about abortion, gender, immigration, and affirmative action, but we can't let those conversations blind us from talking about stories like this. If we can recognize that the 99% has way bigger problems than Sydney Sweeney, the oligarchy is doomed.